about to address some things as the supervisor. There will be no comments, there will be anything, it will be me addressing you guys to tell you what's going on in Thornton Township.
We address you.
Our CBA, that's our collective bargaining agreement, that's our union contract. So it comes with a seat. That's what people not saying. I didn't make this up. I didn't just create this and say, I want security.
All the feds really said if Tiffany won't come to us, we'll just get everybody around her to snitch on her, and guess what, it's working. Because tell me why Tiffany Hen's baby daddy is now allegedly in custody, and he's already singing like a bird. Y'all, this whole investigation has shown that birds of a feather really do flock together, and the birds in Tiffany's flock are nasty as hell. Almost everyone around her got a case with the feds for fraud and theft. It's crazy, y'all. Apparently Tiffany's baby daddy didn't even need much convincing before he threw her under the bus. It really be people then again. Somebody has to look after their kid in the future, because it looks like Tiffany might be going in timeout this time, if you know what I mean. But how does Tiffany's baby daddy come into play in all this? And why is he even being targeted? Let's get right into it. Okay, so if you're wondering why Tiffany Henyard was able to get away with this for so long, well, we just figured it out. Is because she surrounds herself with people who are just as shady as her, and basically created an army of fall guys around her after Tiffany started getting investigated for all the shady things she was doing as mayor of Dolton. She pulled a disappearing act and left everybody wondering where she was at. Now allegedly she was trying to avoid the investigation and lay low till things calmed down before she strolled her way back into town like nothing ever happened. Remember how we said Tiffany have fall guys lined up to take the blame for everything she did? Well, she thought she was safe, the FBI couldn't get her, but boy was she wrong, because one by one everybody Tiffany thought would take the fall for these crimes are turning against her, and it looks like she has nowhere else to hide. Even her man didn't need to be told twice before snitching on her. That man took one good look at the cell he would be spending the next few years of his life, and if he went down with Tiffany and got to singing like a bird. So for those of y'all who don't know, Tiffany's boyfriend is Kamal Woods, and he has a whole lot of shady business going on too. Kamal is listed in Tiffany's divorce papers as her boyfriend, but he plays a much bigger role in her professional life. Now I know y'all didn't really think that Tiffany would put her boyfriend on right first. She made him the director of her cancer foundation, which she allegedly funds from taxpayer money. Yeah, the CARES Foundation, created by Tiffany Henyard to care for breast cancer patients, is apparently nothing but a PR move to make herself look good. The very first day the foundation became official, it received a generous donation of $110,000 from the people of Dolton. Except the people of Dolton did not authorize that donation. Tiffany just up and decided to use that money to fund her personal project. She even went as far as using from the township wallet to fund a trip outside of Dolton to promote her foundation. When I tell y'all, everything that was used during that parade was paid for by the blood, sweat, and tears of the public, from the trucks and bicycles to the DJ, photographer, drones, meals, and hotel rooms. Every single expense. Allegedly, even after the foundation took off, she still didn't stop using public money to fund it. All the staff from the foundation, including her boyfriend Kamal, are apparently getting their paychecks from taxpayer money. The baby, it gets worse. It just wasn't enough for Tiffany to make Kamal the director of her foundation and pay him money that don't even belong to her. She also got him a fancy side gig at Thornton Township, paying him over $100,000, money that the majority of people in Dolton haven't seen in years. The gig was going well until feds slammed Tiffany Henyard with a subpoena asking for every single record of all her businesses, and Kamal was named in that subpoena. According to reports, Tiffany was given 2 subpoenas. The first one was focused on her private businesses, including her restaurant and property management business, and they're both as shady as they come. Supposedly, Tiffany tries to cut corners everywhere she can without even caring how it affects her clients. Tiffany's shady business dealings got exposed back in 2019 when one of her tenants lost her home because the building was covered in mold and leaking everywhere.
Corner where the roof of the ceiling is damaged, and then it leaks going into my kitchen, and the window sill leaks in my daughter's room.
Except they weren't. Enter activist David Lowry, who called Dolton directly. Suddenly, the house deemed livable on September 3rd became unfit for occupancy on October 15th. Lowry's theory?
The trustee used her power and influence.
So the FBI needed to know exactly what was going on with these businesses. They also asked for all of the records from her political fund and her charity foundation. Oh, but that's not all. See, the deeper this investigation goes, the more people are coming out to expose Tiffany. but she should have seen this coming a long time ago because there's been trouble with her administration since day one, barely 6 months into becoming the supervisor of Thornton Township. Tiffany was already facing backlash from her so-called dream team that she ran with. This included candidates for trustee and village clerk positions out of her pick. Kiana Beller and Jason House were elected as trustees while Allison Key emerged as village clerk. However, the dream team quickly turned into the nightmare team as they got to calling Tiffany out for her shady antics. See, Tiffany thought they were just going to be her puppets and allow her to run the township. However, she liked the baby. They weren't having it because just 6 months into her tenure, they were calling her out for mismanaging the funds and running a shady, low transparency organization. By 2022, they were sick and tired to Tiffany because she didn't show any sign of accountability, so the trustees teamed up with the village board to sue her for having major conflicts of interest. However, Tiffany pushed back, accusing them of stirring the pot and trying to derail her efforts to make Dolton.
It saddens my heart that you are up here at this special meeting and not downstairs where we have big bingo paying the staff. I don't see the staff on here. I think that's a very important bill to pay. So do y'all want to amend that and add the staff bills? Because I don't see them in none of these bills. And then we don't never do agenda like this. So all this fluff you selling to the public is crap.
She started locking them out of their offices, but this didn't scare the trustees. They were determined to get rid of Tiffany one way or the other, so they decided to hold meetings without her. Now, y'all might be thinking the trustees were doing too much because wasn't Tiffany at least doing her job well? According to some residents, there were so many things that needed to be fixed in Dolton, from the roads to the houses, even the police force, but Tiffany just continued spending money on things that were not important, like billboards, first-class trips, hotel rooms at very posh hotels like the Four Seasons, DJS photographers, and a personal army of security guard. Y'all, the list just goes on and on. Before Tiffany became the mayor, Dolton used to be all about community and things that brought people together for the good of the people. Oh, but now it's all about Tiffany. Any event that doesn't somehow promote her or make her look good always gets canceled. For example, there used to be a yearly event hosted by one of the locals for the community. This year, the event was supposed to be held as usual, but Tiffany refused to grant the permit for the public park. They were supposed to use her reason she didn't want the event to clash with her own event that she was holding just a couple miles away. She even went as far as placing huge cement blocks at the entrance of the park so that nobody could enter.
Here's Darren Bosley has organized an annual car show here in the parking lot of Needles Park in Dolton. After paying $1,000 to the park district for this year's permit, Bosley got an unexpected call last Wednesday from Dolton Mayor Tiffany Henyard's top assistant,
saying that the show would be shut down, but if I move my event to her location on Greenwood, that I would be fine.
Did you take that as a threat?
Yes, I took that as bullying.
Sure enough, when Bosley showed up at the park Saturday morning, he found that giant concrete barricades had been placed at the entrance, and Dolton police were threatening to tow any cars that parked there.
We're talking about two different governments.
Can y'all imagine that canceling a community event just to host your own is really crazy? But as wild as that sounds, that ain't even close to some of the other things that Tiffany's done. So it's really not that shocking that the trustees and her inner circle started turning on her. One trustee, named Carmen Carlisle, recently blew the whistle on Tiffany. She released a statement saying for the past 2 years, Henyard has manipulated employees, vendors, and residents using her position to increase her influence, all while projecting a false image of success funded by the hardworking taxpayers of Thornton Township. And the village of Dolton. Henyard shows no accountability or conscience for her actions against employees or taxpayers. However, Tiffany is not going down without a fight, saying she did what she thought was best for the people of Dolton. And if there's any person to blame, it should be her right-hand man, Keith Freeman. And by the way, Keith is also facing fraud charges in a separate FBI investigation.
We will have questions.
Mayor Henyard is in a situation where she feels like she's under attack, because she is.
Bo Brinley is Henyard's criminal defense attorney, hired after the FBI served subpoenas on the village and township earlier this year. He blames Henyard's top aide, Keith Freeman.
Keith Freeman made the decision on how these funds are being used. Keith Freeman is going on these trips. You understand, this is a new mayor. This is someone that is new to this job.
But she never thought, hey, I shouldn't fly first class. I shouldn't stay at the Four Seasons.
If there was a problem with any of that, if that's not how you're supposed to do it, she relied on Freeman to tell her. He's telling her this is how we do things. The mayor didn't spend any of this money. Keith Freeman made decisions and reported to the mayor, this is what we're doing. The mayor trusted him until she didn't.
As crazy as all this sounds, there are still people in Dolton who, writing for Tiffany, they believe she's made politics relatable and fun, and she's not as bad as people are saying she is. Every time Tiffany posts on social media, it blows up too, like she's a celeb at this point. But that doesn't mean people ain't talking though, like this person who said if this woman doesn't end up in prison for all that she's done blatantly in the face of everyone calling her out the entire time, there's no justice left in Illinois. Another person said the fact that this investigation is still ongoing is ridiculous and a slap in the face to the people. She should already be in prison. But now I want to know your thoughts. Are y'all on Team Tiffany, or do y'all agree with the people saying she needs to go on a long-term adult timeout? Y'all been new what to do? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below. And don't forget to click here to watch this other very messy video.